welcome back. This is the gun that I regret buying, but I love, and I am going to keep this gun forever. This is the Polymer80 PF9SS. It is their, I guess I'm going to say it's a copy, a clone of a G43 Glock, a single stack 9mm. I think it's 6+1 rounds of 9mm for this guy. Start off here real quick with the boring bit, the holster. Boring but vital. If you're going to carry it, you need a holster. I got a KnightFall Custom holster. Spent too much money on it. I think it was like 60 bucks. But I had a hard time finding anything that was specific to the Polymer80 PF9SS. So KnightFall Custom had one, and so that's where I got my holster. It's a very good holster. It snaps in nicely. It's retained well, and it pops out relatively easily. So, good holster. Thank you, KnightFall Custom, for taking lots of my money. So, there's the gun. Does it look particularly nice? I think so. I like it. You might not like it. Okay, wait a second. Got my hand in front of the barrel here. I'm going to scare you guys. Let's just show you what I already know, because I checked this before the video started. This guy's empty. Isn't that crazy? It's empty. Why you got an empty gun? Because I'm doing a video, okay? Alright, so we're just going to go over the how. Well, maybe not how I put this together, but what I put together. This Franken gun. All your Polymer 80s are kind of Franken guns, aren't they? So let's start off with just the frame. The PF9SS. So I'll take this off camera for a second, and we'll just do a little thing here and a little thing there, and boop, there we go. There's the frame. And I got this from Karri's Guns. I'll see if I can put some of the websites where I pick these items up down below. I don't think I can put an actual link, but I'll tell you what the website is. So I would have picked this up in a different color, but I only found this in black. Do they only make this in black still? So anyway, I got it in black. And the particular bundle I bought this with at Karri's Guns came with the lower parts kit. So if you've ever made one of these Polymer 80 frames before, you know it takes a little tender loving care to get them assembled correctly, and so that they're do I want to say reliable? I'm just going to say so that they function smoothly. I don't know if this is reliable. I've never fired this. That's a shame, isn't it? Anyway, to get these to function well, take some tender loving care, and so I've heavily polished the rear rails. I've heavily polished this shark fin, and I polished these a bit in the front as well. Maybe not as heavily, but I did polish them. Oh, and also the sear in the back here. Polish that up pretty good too. You got to be real careful about how you do that, though, because you don't want to round off the edge of that sear. That's, boy, that would be bad. You don't want to trigger that that rolls off. You want it to be a nice crisp break when it does break. So I managed to get that right on this one. Pretty happy with how it turned out. I put another hunk of bicycle inner tube down here. It's not that this texture Polymer80 puts on here is bad. I don't mind the texture at all. I actually wanted a little bit of thickness, which this offers almost none, but almost none is better than none, okay? Sometimes a little is good enough. And this worked for me, so that's why it's on there. I don't think I had any particular difficulty with putting this together. I do wish they had a different trigger on these. I didn't find any other. I didn't find any other triggers that were, well, cheap enough for me to be willing to buy. But yeah, all the places where I could get economical parts didn't offer a different trigger for this. So they all have this little dingus that if you push down on it, you can probably see there, it's still sticking out. So it's just not super comfortable when you're going to snap. Okay, you pull the trigger and it breaks. You still got something bearing into your finger while you pull on that trigger. I don't like that. I like some of the other ones. I think I have some aluminum triggers that have the dingus that fully recesses into the trigger. Much more comfortable to use. But you're not going to the range and firing hundreds of rounds through this probably. You're probably going to use a few magazines and you'll be done. And in a self-defense situation, you would, you're not going to even notice that there's something there. You're going to pull the trigger and do what you need to do. This does not have the extended slide release or slide stop lever. I don't know if they have those. Surely they have those for these. This is just the one that came with the lower parts kit that I got with the gun. I prefer these, okay? I don't want something extra sticking out there. But that's one man's opinion. Okay, then I got a real Glock magazine and color filled the numbers in the back so I can sit there and look at how many rounds I have. And then I did the blasphemy of putting in mag guts to give me one more round in my legitimate Glock magazine. But I've had good luck with these mag guts, followers, and flat springs. They seem to work well. They cost about, I think it was 20 bucks, 25 bucks, something like that when I got it. I like them. You don't have to get them. But anyway, that gives you 7+1 instead of 6+1. So that's the magazine. No, the other magazine I got was this ETS 12-round magazine. I'm going to tell you right now, do not buy one of these. I was going to give you a caveat there, but just do not buy one of these. They're junk, okay? You fill this full, you leave it sitting for a while, the feed lips are going to expand, and they're junk, okay? They're just junk. Seemed like a good idea at the time. They were cheap. They were on sale. Again, I haven't even fired this gun yet, and I can see that those magazines, I got a couple of them loaded and stashed away. They look all messed up. I don't think they're going to make it through one range day. The slide. Let's do a little more. Well, do we need to take this down anymore? I don't think we really do. We'll just do it like this. So the slide is from Hooper Gunworks on eBay. So it's a blue Cerakoted slide. The profile is supposed to be the OEM Glock profile. So this theoretically is the same shape as your standard Glock 43 slide. I don't know that I really like a Cerakoted slide. It just gives places for things to get dinged up, and it creates extra thickness to the material that, well, there's some areas where you don't want extra thickness, right? I'll go under here and show you. So when I got this was painted, okay? This was Cerakoted. This is what your rounds are going to slide against as the gun fires. So the slide will come back and slide along the round, and it'll grab the rim and push it forward. Okay, so I didn't want Cerakote on that, so I buffed all that off. I don't remember if I had to sand it to get through the Cerakote or not, but anyway, I got rid of the paint and I polished it. I want that to be smooth. I don't want to have a misfire because the paint starts coming off. Paint. I just insulted Cerakote, didn't I? Alright. Recoil spring. Recoil spring is just, gosh, I think I went through a couple of these. I think the first one I got, this little edge right here that grips onto the locking lug of the barrel, I think that actually broke. So I went through and tried to get some OEM springs, because the spring that came with this, recoil spring that came with this, the upper parts kit that I got on this, broke. So I'd suggest having some spares of these if you get one of these guns, or even just a Glock 43. These are pretty tight springs. I don't know if this is quite as tight as the Karri CM9 I've got, but it's pretty tight. And boy, it looks stout, doesn't it? Well, anyway, have some spares. Have lots of spare parts. The upper parts kit and the barrel. It's just a stainless steel barrel with it's got a little bit of a crown cut to it there. I got those from KM Tactical. Wasn't real happy with that recoil spring, obviously, because it broke, but I didn't even try to argue with them about it and try to get it replaced. I just bought another one. Didn't want another one like that. Didn't have confidence in that anymore. It seems to be the way I go with a lot of gun parts. If I get something and it doesn't work out, I just don't buy it anymore. I know that may not be the best thing to do, to communicate back to the company and to the reseller that their parts are bad, but I'm just not that guy. I just go buy something better, and then, you know, unless I spent a ton of money on it, and I didn't spend a ton of money on the recoil spring. Generally I buy budget parts, and when budget parts don't work, I get the good ones. And magazines, one of those things where I don't mess around normally with the budget magazines. I get the real deal. They fooled me, okay? ETS, you suck. But anyway, so anyway, upper parts and barrel from KM Tactical. I got some standard Glock sights on this, just plastic Glock sights, so definitely nothing special about those. Most people wouldn't have ever put those on, and if they got a Glock 43, they would have replaced them. But I got them. I don't care. I just want some basic sights. Should work fine for me. Slide grip. So I got the Talon slide grip on here. I mentioned in a previous video I would get this for other guns that are difficult to operate the slide on, or that bite into your hand or something like that. If you have any kind of concern about operating the slide effectively, go see if they have a Talon slide grip for your particular gun. They work very well. This recoil spring is from eBay, and they just said it's a OEM recoil spring. I kind of take that with a grain of salt. I mean, I got it from eBay. Can you really trust it? I don't know. But so far it's worked, and it hasn't broken. Here's another grain of salt. It's an unfired gun, so it works in manual manipulation of the gun. It hasn't broken yet. I got a Billet Striker from Aim Surplus. I did that because I heard that the strikers on these can break after not too many rounds, so I wanted to get something that was quality, and I heard that that particular one was pretty good quality, so I picked one up. So I think that's about it for this. Let's just do a little magic here that you don't need to know how to do because YouTube says so. Oh. There. Alright, excuse me, I kind of botched up my explanation for why I regret buying this gun that I love so much. So it's another day, and I'm re-recording this part of it. So what I wanted to say, hopefully I can get it right this time, is that I regret buying this gun because I don't feel like I can carry it for the purpose that I bought it. This gun for me is completely designed for everyday carry, concealed carry. It's small, lightweight, and doesn't have a very large capacity. This is meant to be on your person at all times. I don't carry it that way, and I never will, and it's maybe a mental block on my part, but I can't bring myself to carry a gun that doesn't have a serial number. Now, I'm not some kind of weird gun control person, okay? I believe everybody should have the right to bear arms. If you're a free citizen, you should have that right. Now, the reason why I am not comfortable with it is because if you ever did have to use it, you have to explain that to somebody else. Or at least potentially have to explain it to somebody else, and more than likely you're going to be in court. And if there's a mistake on your part in court, you could be spending a very long time in jail. Now, people will say that that's a bunch of bunk, and it doesn't matter if your gun has a serial number or not. It's not going to affect your case in court. I don't know, okay? I don't want to take the chance. I don't want to be on the fringe of what people consider okay, whether it's legal or not. I don't want to be a test case for some Second Amendment issue. I am totally in support of the Second Amendment, probably more so than most. But I don't want to be the person risking my freedom, if at all possible. Now, that might be cowardly, but I have a family to take care of, so it's not a risk that I'm willing to take at this time, because I don't have to take that risk. So, to each their own. You can do it if you want to, and I would applaud you for doing so, but I'm just not comfortable carrying a gun without the serial number on there. And it's not that I don't trust the gun. I don't trust this gun. But presumably, if I would carry this, I would carry it after I've test fired it quite a bit, and I would become comfortable with it being reliable. And if it wasn't, obviously I wouldn't carry it on a daily basis. But if it proved reliable and I felt it was appropriate to carry as far as the functionality of the weapon, somebody else could carry it. It just wouldn't be me. I can't bring myself to do it. Maybe that'll change. I don't know. And you guys can tell me how crazy I am down below if you want. And yeah. I'm totally happy if somebody could convince me that this is totally appropriate to carry. I'm just not there right now. But I do love this gun. I picked out all the parts. I put them all together. I took care of all the fitment of the components and polish things up so the trigger operates the way I like it. I think it's a good gun. I just can't bring myself to carry it. So that is a very long-winded of saying why I regret buying this gun, which is probably an exaggeration. I don't really regret buying it. I just regret that I can't use it. Maybe is a more appropriate explanation. Because I do love it, and I will keep it forever. And I don't know where you're at with selling guns without a serial number. You know, but I think you can do it legally. I'm not a lawyer. Don't take my word for that. Consult your own lawyers. But I think you can. But I wouldn't. Because if my gun that I built ever got into the hands of a criminal, boy, that'd be hard to live with if you found out the gun that you built was used for something it shouldn't be used for. But anyway, I would keep it forever because a couple reasons. Because of the lack of a serial number, and I'm a little nervous about that. I have to do some research. And I just don't sell guns. I buy guns. And until I don't have enough room to store any more guns, I'm probably going to continue to buy guns. I like guns. I like to collect guns. I might get relatively cheap guns because I can't afford to buy the fancy ones. But I like them. I want more of them. And I'm not selling. So, there you go. I think that's it. Have a good one, guys, and stay safe out there. Bye.